I went out of the exam in 15 minutes, and the only reason for that is that I went out of the questions. So I passed the exam that fast, and in this video I will show you how you can do the same, and I reveal my score at the end. So you need to understand that KCNA exam is not the CKA light exam, meaning it's not the practical exam. You will not have some remote session you need to connect to, and you will not need to interact with the terminal. So it's solely multiple choice question exam. You will need answer questions. You will need pick the answers among the A, B, C, D options. Probably there can be more options than 4, but nevertheless. What we know about this exam already? It's the question-based exam, and it's asking you about the topics that related to the Kubernetes and the CNCF ecosystem. It's the early level exam, I would say the very basic one, which you can take even without any prior experience. So you are not supposed to have a years of experience working with Kubernetes, but if you do, that's the great benefit, of course. So again, you're not connected to the terminal, and you should not treat the exam like that. You just need to be really good at doing the multiple choice exam. So you just need to be really good and just picking the correct option. And how to pick the correct option? So you need to be knowledgeable about those topics. 44% of the exam questions are about Kubernetes, or even more, because the next domain is also related to the container workloads, and we use Kubernetes to orchestrate the container workloads. So if you focus on Kubernetes really heavy, you already have passed there. Okay, so you get 60 questions, 90 minutes to get 75% score, meaning if you answer at least 45 questions correctly, you can claim that you certified. The next topic we see here is the container orchestration. So there will be the questions about the containers, probably the roles of the containers, but I'll get more specific in next slides. And also there are last but not least, domains, the cloud native application delivery. There might be the questions related to the CI/CD or GitOps, and cloud native architecture as a whole, with their maturity levels and the projects they can be on the CNCF landscape. So we will get to that. On the Kubernetes, 4 big topics that can be there is the workload types. You need to understand when to use the daemon sets, deployments, stateful sets, and the jobs. Jobs, for example, can be used for the batch processing, and if you need to schedule the jobs, you can use the cron jobs. On the scheduling, so you need to understand what control plane component is responsible for scheduling, for example. The answer is that it's the kube scheduler. It watches for the pods that are not assigned to the nodes and does all his work to assign them. So you can control that with the different types of the resources. Like you can use the resources in a pod spec, the limits and the requests. Also use the limit range, for example, or use the quotas. But probably it won't be mentioned there because it's more like advanced topics in the scheduling. You need to know the control plane components. There is the kube API server, kube scheduler, different varieties of the controllers, and the etcd for sure. Etcd is used for storing the state of the cluster. And on the worker node, there are also the components that are deployed. So on every worker node, you will be having running the kubelet and the kube proxy, playing their roles. All you just need here is understand their responsibilities, what do they do and how do they work. Also, you need to understand what the CRI and CNI is. For example, the one of the trickiest questions that can be asked, but still quite easy, the default CRI in Kubernetes. Since version 124, it's no longer Docker. On the orchestration, container orchestration, there might be the questions related to the types of the services. A lot of people don't know that there is a fifth type of the service, which is called external name. Basically, it's just the C name. If we look at the DNS, and create like the comparison. You need to be able to write, but you will not be asked to write. Essentially, you just need to understand the structure of the resources, such as network policy, airbag, and security context. You can specify the security context on a pod spec level or even within the container spec. Also, there will be questions on the storage. Definitely, you need to understand how the persistent volume works, probably how to define the persistent volume. There will be the question on the persistent volume claims. You can use them in the pods and the storage classes, and also there are some questions on the access modes. For example, like the access modes you can use there is read-write mainly and read-only. On the troubleshooting, there can be the question, oh, you have the pod in a crash loop. What does it mean? And it does mean that pod is crashing, like it has the errors, it's failing, and it can be in a constant restart. Yeah. And also there definitely will be questions on the kubectl. You need to understand the kubectl syntax and the verbs you can use there, like get, run, describe. Probably there are some other like exec you see here, and you can you get the how you can get the logs, for example. Yeah, you will run the kubelet logs here. On the application delivery and cloud native architecture, so there will be the question on the GitOps principles. There are 4 GitOps principles. You can see them on the screen. You need to understand like what they mean essentially, and also there will be commands on the Helm CLI or on the customize. Or there might be the case there they will describe you with some imaginary situation and ask you what tool you want to use, and there can be Helm or customize, but they will be specific about their needs, so when you need to derive the answer. Okay, also there will be questions on the observability, like they can list some different variety of the tools and ask you to pick the one for a particular problem. For example, you want to collect the metrics and store them. So you will not pick the Grafana, yeah, because it's the UI. So you need to select the answer with the Prometheus as an option. And on the maturity levels, there are 3 maturity levels. So and they are sequential. So first, when the project gets accepted as the member of the CNCF, they are assigned to the level which is called sandbox, and then they move to the incubating, and then they move to the graduated. Okay. So on this, like the very small topic which is called cloud native architecture, there will be questions about the different services in different niches, let's say, and if you go and look at the CNCF landscape, you can see the board with the different areas, and in every area you will see there are a variety of the different projects. You don't need to be familiar with all of them, but I highly encourage you to go and visit this website before the exam, and you will feel really confident during the exam. So The next slide is on the preparation. First of all, you need to understand that I had a practical experience with Kubernetes for 7+ years. I worked with mainly with Azure and AWS, managing and running like 50 or even more clusters with the hundreds of nodes. So I knew what I was doing, and I was ready for the exam, but still I felt like I was ready for the exam. But still I went and read the Kubernetes documentation, because actually when they ask you some questions, you can really find the answers in the documentation, because they ask you on the documentation, yeah? Because there can be the documentation on the kubectl commands, or on the structure of the pod spec specification for the pod, and I encourage you to go and also read the documentation. I'll provide the link on the GitHub repository, where you can find all the useful links. And also, as said before, I went and explored kinda the CNCF landscape even before preparation to the exam. I really love this website. What I would not recommend to do is think that if you pass the CKA, that means that you will pass the KCNA because it's easier. It is easier, but in a way, there can be different questions that not related to the CKA, yes, because they can ask you generally on some CNCF projects. So if you was working straight with the Kubernetes and not interested in what's going on in the industry, you will probably lose some points. So be careful with that. Again, you will not be allowed to use the documentation. You will just have 60 questions and you will need to answer them. By answering, I mean just select the correct options. The tricky parts that can be asked on the exam is the scheduling, for example. You need to understand the concept of the taint, the concept of the toleration, what the affinity is, also in combination with affinity, or just interchangeably the resource that can be used, not the resource but the field that can be used with affinity is the node selector. It's just the simplest option you can go with if you want to pick some particular nodes for assigning the pod to. Yes, because you can group the nodes with the taints, for example. Yeah, you can differentiate them that way. On the service type mix, there should not be problems, I would say. But still you need to understand the use cases. So if you didn't work with Kubernetes, be careful there. On the container runtime, I already mentioned that Docker is not the default container runtime, so keep that in mind. And on especially for those who are not familiar with the workloads, so you can run on the Kubernetes. Please go and again check the deployment, stateful set and stuff like that. But for those who has Kubernetes experience, that will be the easy points for you if they ask you the difference or what workload type to choose. And again, if you check the CNCF landscape, you will ace with the questions on the different projects. The preparation resources here on the screen. I personally didn't do any video courses because I had an experience. All I had to do is just go and read the documentation. I highly recommend to go and read the Open GitOps website. So there are those 4 principles you can be asked of. And also just remember the examples of the GitOps tools, the Argo CD and Flux, for example. And what else? So I did a lot of practice tests, so I prepared on my website, I prepared the practice test that you can use yourself for the preparation. It's free, so please go and use. And also I wrote the article on how I passed the exam, so how the experience was for me. In this video I mostly tell you about the structure of the exam, yeah, and the resources. And there I was talking about the platform, for example, that is used there. So for first-time passers, like it generally CNCF exams, first-time passers, I recommend you to go and read this article. So on the result, I got the 95 points, meaning we had 60 questions and I probably didn't answer 3 or 4 of them only. Okay, and again, it was only 15 minutes for me. I could spend more time and probably get 100, but I am still content with the result. And also, here's the link on the test you can run. And here's the link on the GitHub repository where I collected all the useful materials, the resources, the articles, or even books you can go and read to prepare for Kubernetes exams. Like there are, at this moment there are 16 exams and I listed the preparation materials for all of them. Thank you for watching and good luck with exam.